One. Hey everybody, it is that time of the day, that time of the week, that time of the month, that time of the year. It is the RPG Kingdom podcast. I, of course, am Adam. It is March 6th. It's March already, Travis.
It's been March for like 6 days.
I know, it feels so weird because in 10 days, that's when I got sent home from work from the coronavirus. So I've been like living and working and doing everything from my house for almost a full year now. And we were talking about this the other day. I'm pretty sure I'm going to come down with agoraphobia.
Yeah. Well, if it makes you feel any better, I was fired 7 days ago last year.
See, you're working, and then I was laid off
Yeah.
in July. So now I'm not working. But it's a fun time.
It is what it is. You get to play all the Final Fantasy 11 that you wish.
I haven't played in like 2-3 weeks. I'll have you know.
I don't care. But yeah, how have you been otherwise?
I'm not bad. I'm getting ready to redo my whole setup here again.
Mm-hmm. Again.
Just because I always redo it like once every couple months. As you can see, we just bought a new printer. It's behind me there. And
Beautiful.
we don't have a lot of room for it, so I'm gonna redo everything, and I'm gonna make my background more nice for streaming and whatnot.
Okay.
So that's gonna be coming up probably tomorrow, and then I'm thinking Monday I'm gonna start streaming on the Twitch channel regularly.
Nice.
And as you can
That should
see,
be cool.
I have two
That should be
small
cool.
white dogs, and well, covered in white dog hair.
I had a large gray dog about 5-6 years ago, and his hair is still popping up in places in the new house, and he never lived here.
That's impressive.
Yes, that is very impressive.
Also, I see your little thing behind you that says "I love you."
Yeah, that came in the mail not too long ago. I actually have this one, Terror for the Kids.
For the kids.
I know it seems kind of weird, Terror for the children.
I'm a fan of Terror for the Children.
Yeah,
I really am. So what have you been playing?
But it didn't work. It didn't work, so they sent me another one, and my wife opened that one up, and she put "I love you," and that was nice of her.
She's a keeper.
She is. She's absolutely a keeper.
I mean,
Um,
she gave you 3 kids. It's more
She
than
did. She gave me.
that's more than I can give you.
I know.
But what have you
Sure,
been
you
playing, Travis?
Do something. What I've been playing, I've really only been playing 2 games this week. The main one has been Elder Scrolls Online. I am slightly addicted to it, just slightly.
Just slightly.
Not like calling off of work to play kind of addicted. But I got my main, which is a healer, up to 25, which is the furthest I've ever gotten ESO.
Okay.
And that's been a lot of fun. Healing is like dumb simple in the early stages of ESO. Like I don't think there's any challenge of it until you get to veteran and hard mode dungeons and stuff like that. But it's been super easy, and I don't foresee it getting any more difficult. Not for at least like another 25, 30, 40, 50 champion points and levels and stuff. So I got my 3 main crafting skills up to all above level 10, which is great.
Nice.
Which is blacksmithing, clothier, and woodworking, which is cool because I enjoy crafting, and I'm starting to find it a little fun. It's not as awful as I originally thought it to be now that I'm really engrossing myself in it. It's no Final Fantasy 14, but it's still it's all right. It's Elder Scrolls crafting. It's the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, I've played a lot of Skyrim, and crafting in that is you just press the button.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. There are some little extra things to it, like the styles and collecting motifs and doing your research and stuff like that, so you can make better weapons and armor and stuff like that. So it's not bad. It's really customizable. It's just not a complicated system.
That's understandable.
Yeah. And I'm also playing Trials of Mana, in which I've reached chapter 3 finally, and I fought this one boss that had me so awfully frustrated that I was like ready to just turn off the game and quit and not get my platinum in it.
You're getting the platinum. I've decided
I'm getting the
for
platinum. I'm playing on hard because there is one boss you have to be on hard in order to get the platinum.
Understandable.
So I figured I just play through the whole game on hard. So that's what I'm doing. But that one boss, I forget what his name was. But it was for when you had to get Shade, the Mana Spirit Shade, and it it wrecked me. Like I had to use all of my cups of wishes. I had to use almost all of my chocolates, all my candies. I was not in good shape at the end of that fight.
I like candy.
But candy's good.
Bubblegum and taffy.
What's that?
Bubblegum and taffy.
I want candy, bubblegum and taffy. Step to me, punk. You're gonna get your ass beat nasty.
Good old MCP pants.
MCP pants. But I'm progressing. I'm progressing very pretty far in it. I have 5 out of the 8 mana spirits. Like I said, I'm on chapter 3, and it's going pretty well. The game is a lot of fun. The combat's really simple, but it's fun. It's just I don't know. It's engaging somehow with being that simple. So I'll take it.
I need to get back into it. I of course have it on the Switch. Of course.
Okay.
And I played, I think, chapter 1, and then something else came out. I'm like, all right, I'm done. I'm gonna go over to this.
Surprised. I'm not surprised.
I have a horrible problem with that. All right.
I know. We're all ADD gamers here.
We talked about this too the other day. Like I'm a mix between ADHD and OCD gamer.
Yeah. Because once you hyper focus on something, it's like this is it.
Yeah,
this is my life now.
I'm about to talk about that. Have you been playing anything else though?
But yeah, it's good, and I do recommend it to anybody who's listening. Give it a shot. It's not too expensive at this point. I think it might be 35 or 40, or maybe 30. But it's not bad. It's worth checking out.
I'm looking at how much it is right now.
Okay. But yeah, that's it for me. Like I said, I've only been playing those 2 games. I am looking to get back into Yakuza this week. But I do have some ESO that I want to play. For YouTube.
Yeah.
Man, my nose itches like crazy. And yeah, we'll get there.
Trials Mana you can get on the Switch for $30 right now.
Okay.
So it's probably either the same or cheaper on PS4.
Yeah.
Anything else you've been playing?
I think I paid 30. Nope, I've been playing nothing else. I deleted all my mobile games, so I'm not playing Egg Inc. or anything like that anymore.
Good old Egg Inc.
Yep. Nope, no more mobile games. I'm done with those.
Well, you're not a gamer if you're playing mobile games.
You're not a gamer unless you min-max.
Yeah, exactly.
For anybody that's listening, I crap you not. Somebody on Twitter actually replied to me saying, if you don't min-max, you are not a gamer.
Yeah.
If you don't know what min-maxing means, you are not a gamer.
Yeah.
That blew my mind.
That's some of the dumbest shit I've heard in a long time.
Yeah.
So anything, but that's it. You've only been playing ESO because it's an MMO.
Yeah.
And of course, Trials of Mana.
Yep.
That's it. Nothing else. Because you had a heavy plate the other week. You were playing like 5 different things.
Yeah. I do have to get back into playing Yakuza, like I said, and I do want to pick up a little bit of Phantasy Star 2 to see if I enjoy it as much as I enjoyed PSO1. PSO1 I will still play and greatly enjoy, but PSO2 they've added and changed a lot, so I don't know if I'm gonna have the same feeling with that as I did with PSO1. But hey, I'm not gonna know until I try. So
I played a good chunk of the beta on the Xbox when that came out, and I got bored really quick.
Okay.
It might be because there wasn't a lot in the beta.
Okay.
But I might jump back into that. I might take a look at that. I don't know where I'd play it. It's cross-platform though, isn't it?
I think so.
Because
I play on Steam.
I get that. I think they're not servers, they're ships or whatever. I think they're cross-platform because I got the Series S sitting right here and I don't do anything with it. So maybe I should.
Go for it.
But
what happens?
So I've been playing. Well, the new Smash Brothers character came out, of course. Pyra and Mithra from Xenoblade 2. I played a little bit of them. Pyra's quick and weak, Pyra's fast and hits hard and is slow as shit.
Okay.
Possibly the slowest character in the game, but we'll destroy you if you catch him on a good smash attack or something.
Okay.
And Mithra's quick and weak as hell, like Sheik. Not a big fan of them at all.
Fair enough.
Played a little bit of that. I have also been playing Risk of Rain 2 with McDee's LPs. He's a phenomenal person. We played a lot. We played like probably for like 3 hours today as well earlier. And then Bravely Default 2 came out last Friday. Played about 4 hours on Friday. Didn't play much over the weekend, but all of a sudden now I'm at 45 hours. And I'm only on chapter 4. There's 6 chapters. I'm only on chapter 4. So I've been I have every job that I've unlocked, which I think I have about 16 jobs unlocked so far. I have everyone maxed out on every character.
Nice.
And I'm a little over leveled, so things are kind of easy. But the game's wonderful. If you have a Switch, pick it up. It's a load of fun. It's a love letter to every early Square Enix game like Phoenix Downs or Phoenix Downs. You know, you got all your classes. You got like warrior, freelancer, white mage, red mage, black mage, thief. Like, it's just it's Final Fantasy V with a new coat of paint. You're still doing the warriors of light shit, but I'm really enjoying it. So just play it. There's overworld, there's rare monsters that are overworld monsters. They have rare drops and that you could keep fighting them, almost like world bosses. And I've been farming those for rare drops, and it's been helping me level. The job points is I have another farm for those. I could level a job from 1 to 12 in like 20 minutes now.
That's awesome.
I have one more town in chapter 4. I have to go save. And then chapter 5, if it's anything like Bravely Default 1 and Bravely 2nd, at the end of chapter 5, it's like a false ending, and then you could reload your save, and there's a full chapter 6 where you actually get the real ending and shit.
Okay. They
did that in Bravely 1 and Bravely 2nd, and I'm assuming they're going to do it again. But it came out to pretty good sales and pretty good reviews as well for anybody that's a big fan of JRPGs. Highly recommend that game.
Yeah, I'm going to pick it up, but not yet, because I want to concentrate on what I'm playing now. I don't want to get sidetracked from Trials yet. Yeah. Until I beat that 3 times.
Well, so. Here's what I was talking about, the ADD and OCD when it comes to games. Like, and this has been rough for me because it's been hard to get hooked on a game besides Final Fantasy 11 when I was deep in that. So I picked this up. Like I said, I played for 4 hours the day it came out. I didn't do much over the weekend because I was just kind of hanging out with my girlfriend. We were watching some Marvel movies and shit. Nice. And then I jumped into it Monday. And Monday I played it all day, and I got hooked. And it's all I've been playing besides, like I said, a little bit of Risk of Rain and a little bit of Smash Brothers. That's
nice.
Cool. But yeah, so now we have some news, Travis.
We got some news. You want to do the first 2 and I'll do the last 3?
Sure. So Forever Entertainment, who they did the remake of Panzer Dragoon that just recently came out on the Switch, the PS4. I don't think it's on PC or Xbox. It might be on Xbox. I don't think you could actually pick it up on PC, but they did a really good job with that remake. Mm-hmm. They just signed a deal with Square Enix to remake some games for them. Remaster. We're not sure yet. We don't know what they're going to be either. A lot of people are thinking it's older Final Fantasy games, like we saw Final Fantasy 1 and 2 remade and put it onto the PSP, stuff like that. I'm really hoping for Parasite Eve.
Yeah.
Parasite Eve is one of my favorite games from the PlayStation 2 or PlayStation 1. Parasite Eve 2 was really good. And then Third Birthday on the PSP, which a lot of people didn't get to play because it was on the PSP. I really hope that they do something like that. It could be the older Star Ocean games. It could be the Soul Blade, the Quintet trilogy or whatever it is.
Yep. Quintet would be wonderful. Oh my gosh, I would fawn over that.
It could be a bunch of side stuff like Vagrant Story, the tactics games.
Seven Saga.
Fuck that game. Mario RPG.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
I think Nintendo owns the rights to that though. To be honest. But there's so much they could do. So here's hoping they do some good stuff. Like I said, they did the Panzer Dragoon remake recently, and they did a really good job with that. So let's hope it's something good.
I got my fingers crossed for Bouncer.
I didn't mind Bouncer back in the day.
I thought Bouncer was freaking awesome.
And what was it?
It was a little slow to load, but
that,
it was a fantastic game.
And Air Highs or whatever it is.
Oh, Air Guys for PSX.
Yeah,
that was fun.
That was
The original Final Fantasy fighting game.
exactly, and that was the first that was the first time Cloud was out of his out of Final Fantasy 7.
Yeah, and that was the first roguelike I ever played too.
Oh
Because
yeah.
there's the roguelike mode and the fighting mode.
Oh
so.
yeah. And then next on the news, we have there's more Switch Pro rumors going around.
Mm-hmm.
This time from Bloomsburg. The person that broke the article, he called the Switch Lite. So it is a reliable source. And there's some interesting rumors going around. You know, Samsung's like ramping up OLED screens for Nintendo.
Yeah.
Which that had been leaked to him specifically. It was Takashi Matazuma, I think his name is. And so they're like going to be pumping out a million screens in June and probably a million a month up until the release. Okay. People are saying it's going to be for December. It's going to be released this year. I think it's going to be released this fiscal year for Nintendo. I'm thinking March because they have until April 1st for the fiscal year. So I'm thinking it's going to be March, and we're going to see games specifically launch with it. Maybe Breath of the Wild 2 and Pokemon Legends Arceus. Specifically because that Arceus trailer was chugging. It was more like like stop motion animation that wasn't done yet. It did not look good frame rate wise. I think it's gonna need a little bit more power. They didn't release any other information yet, like what kind of chipset's gonna be. I'm thinking it's gonna be the Tegra 2. Rumors are 720p OLED screen and then docked 4K support, but not true 4K. It would probably be that deep level super sampling.
Mm-hmm.
The AI 4K support NVIDIA has already on the Tegra 2 chip. So that's where I think it's going to go. And then there's already rumors going around that there's going to be games specifically for whatever they call this. Some people are going to say it's the Super Switch, like the Super Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
Also with Switch Pro, or the new Nintendo Switch, something like that. Crusher in the chat, he's like, "What do you think the battery life would be on the Switch Pro?"
37 minutes.
OLED screens don't use as much power as an LCD screen now. So I think it'll be a little bit better. I mean, if you look at the original Switch, before the revision, the original Switch is 3 to 5 hours. Version 2, which was the revision that came out, I think, early last year, maybe late 2019, that's 5 to 9 hours. I'd say if with an OLED screen and if they use the same battery, which they probably will because it's pretty cheap right now, you'd still see that 5 to 9 hours. To be honest,
be nice. That'd be really nice for the updated power and a better screen. I'd be fine with 5 to 9.
Yeah, and a lot of people are like, why aren't they doing 1080p on the screen in handheld? Pixel density for 720p is just as good as 1080p at that size. For a 7-inch screen, you wouldn't notice a big difference. And most of the games you're playing in handheld right now, they don't play at 720. I think Mario Kart 8 is one of them. I think Mario Odyssey is one of them, but a lot of them don't even play at 720p on the screen.
Right.
So, I think the battery life will be all right. And how you doing, Crusher?
All right. Next up, we've got Disgaea 6, Defiance of Destiny. It's launching for the Switch on June 29th. We got a release date for that. That's in North America and Europe. I don't know the Japan release date, but I'm sure it'll probably be sometime before that.
I thought it was already out in Japan.
It very well could be. I don't know. I didn't check. I'm a slacker. I didn't feel like doing it, so I didn't do it. Sticking with Nipponichi, Nipponichi Software America announces Pretty presents NIS Classics Volume 1 for the Nintendo Switch, which includes Phantom Brave and Soul Nomad, which is awesome. Because if you haven't played Phantom Brave, you need to play Phantom Brave.
I played that on the PSP.
It's gonna be great. It is so good.
It's a very, very good game.
It is such a freaking emotionally powerful experience too. Like, the battles are one thing. It's Nipponichi battles. That's just how it goes. But the story is so incredible. Like, I don't think I ever got that involved in the story of a video game before until I played that.
Obviously, you played this game before Final Fantasy VII, then.
Yeah. About that. No, I don't care. Final Fantasy VII has a good story, but it's not because I knew about like the twist
Yeah,
well beforehand. It didn't have that kind of effect on me, and I didn't get attached to the character. So
I get that.
yeah. And finally, we've got 2.5 million sale mark crested for Square's Octopath Traveler.
That's 2.5 million people that were let down by a subpar story but great mechanics.
Yes. And people are still buying it. Even with this being told to everybody forever, that the story's not that great, but the mechanics are great. People are like, I guess I'll go for the mechanics, and they are playing it and
in all
enjoying
honesty,
it.
in all honesty, I think it might have seen a little boost in sales for people picking up Project Triangle Strategy.
Probably
because
yeah.
it's the same developer, it's the same art, it's the same everything. It's just a different mechanic based game.
Yeah.
And from what I was seeing, there's a lot of people downloading Project Triangle Strategy. So I think that's going to do well as well, to be honest.
I hope so. The more like AAA RPGs that we can get for the Switch, the better. I know it's like a massive RPG machine as far as what they have out there for indies.
I mean, there's a lot of AAA ones on there too.
There are, but hell, I want more. I always want more.
As the person I am with the Switch, I want more of everything.
Yeah.
So 4K support on the Switch Pro when it comes out. Give me Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Yeah, why not?
I'd play that again. I'm probably gonna play it again when the patch comes out for the PS5, and that whole spiel with Yuffie. I mean, it's probably not gonna come out on the Switch because I think that is like 100% exclusive to PlayStation.
Okay.
Just like Final Fantasy 16 is 100% exclusive to PlayStation.
Yeah.
Except for I think they're doing a PC release on that eventually.
Okay.
But Final Fantasy 16 is 100% exclusive to the PlayStation 5, and I hope that comes out this year. I don't think it's going to. But I think 7 Remake is only going to stay on PS5, PS4. It's questionable though cuz Kingdom Hearts just went to PC through the Epic Store, which is crazy.
Yeah.
That came out of nowhere. Where it
came out of nowhere, and it's also $60 a pop
for every game individually.
Yes.
I thought you could buy like the story so far for $60.
There's one of them that's 60, but it's like Kingdom Hearts 3 is 60.
Yeah, I think the story so far is which is everything else is 60 as well.
Was that the 2.5, 1.5 and 2.5?
Yeah, it's like 1.5, 2.5, 3.14, 7.9, 10. It's everything else besides 3 from my understanding. I don't know 100%. I played through almost every Kingdom Hearts except for I never finished 3. Maybe I will one day. I still don't know what's going on.
Like, it's going to be Kingdom Hearts 1.5 and 2.5 for full price, then 2.8 for full price, then 3 and Remind for full price, and then Melody of Memory for...
What the hell is 2.8 compared to 2.5? What is... They don't need that much.
Hey, Cubby. Hey, Fantasy Geek.
Also, hello. But, come on.
It's ridiculous. It is horrible.
Just make Kingdom Hearts 5. Add them all together. Kingdom Hearts 5.
There you go.
And then Kingdom Hearts 3 becomes Kingdom Hearts 6. And then the music game that just came out is Kingdom Hearts 1. Yakuza Remastered Collection, $35 is a great deal, Crusher. It's also I think it's all through I think every Yakuza game besides like a Dragon is included on Game Pass right now.
Except 6. We never got 6 yet.
I have 6.
No, that was part of the remastered collection. 3, 4. No, wait.
The remastered is 3, 4, and 5.
So wait, did we ever get 6?
6 came out on the PS4. I know that because
it was on the PS4. Okay.
I actually in my recent pickups I have 6 and Judgment came, and then some Nintendo games came.
Okay.
6, yeah, I think 6 is coming to PC too as well. Eventually, I think they have like one of those exclusive deals with Sony right now. I'm not 100% sure. I'm surprised because Yakuza was always a Sony title up until like a Dragon. I think was the first actual crossover like launch on multiple platforms. Maybe Judgment too. I don't know about Judgment because that's not Judgment's coming to Stadia. Ooh,
That's awesome.
sorry. Sorry. Like all right. So a little bit of a tangent. You guys know how I like to go on my tangents. Okay.
Sidebar. Here we go.
So I tried Stadia. It's fucking horrible. I can see why Google's like, all right, we're throwing in the towel with our game development. If you guys want to put your shit on our platform, fine. I get that. Stadia did not work well for me, and I have a good connection. I was getting lag input playing Serious Sam. Which, let's be honest here, Serious Sam is not very intensive.
No.
So I also got invited to try, what is it, Luna from Amazon?
Yeah, Amazon Luna.
I got invited to try Amazon Luna. I played Ys 8 on it. I only played for maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours. I haven't played Ys 8. I really enjoyed the beginning of it. I should probably start playing that. I have that on the Switch as a hard copy as well. I couldn't feel any difference between playing on a console or playing on Amazon Luna. On top of that, the price structure for Stadia is you could play it for free, but you got to buy your games. Understandable.
Right.
Or you could be Stadia Pro, and you could buy your games at a little bit of a discount.
Yeah.
Amazon Luna, $5.99 a month. Whatever's in the library, play it.
So they're basically game passing it.
Yeah, for a much cheaper price, and you don't need a killer PC to play decent games on Luna.
Right.
Now the big thing is depending on what phone you have. Is I'm on iPhone, so Apple's being dickheads. They don't want you to have any kind of streaming service like I can't use the Game Pass, the Microsoft streaming service, whatever it is for Game Pass.
Right.
On my phone. xCloud, yeah. I can't use that on my phone through an app, so that Microsoft is working to make it a browser-based as well. So Luna probably won't work on my phone as well, but I think you can already, Travis.
Okay. Nice.
Which is great. I mean...
Pixel 3.
I enjoyed my Pixel 3. I don't know why I went with an iPhone, but to be honest with you, I fucking love it. I went full like fanboy too. I have an Apple Watch now. But so
that's because you have none of these.
I have big huevos, all right. But so Amazon Luna might be a really good service for $5.99 a month if they keep that price point and you get all these games for free. Well, not free, but based off that price. If it's Game Pass, that's fucking great. That's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.
For $5.99
for the hardware.
There's no hardware.
Oh, so it's not like the Stadia at all. It's actually just a streaming service.
Yeah, it's just a streaming service.
Okay, because the Stadia is the controller too. You
don't need to use the controller for Stadia.
Oh, you don't? Okay.
No, I mean if you wanted to hook it up to your TV through like a what was it, the Google dongle? Chromecast, yeah. You I think you needed a Stadia controller at start, but
okay. All right, that makes sense.
I think you can use a regular one now, like if you had a PS4 or an Xbox controller or whatever.
Okay.
All right. Luna is going to be launchable through a Fire Stick.
Cool.
Luna has a controller, but everything I've read about the reports is the controller is hot garbage.
Uh-huh.
Like it's like a 1990s Mad Cat controller.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah, like really cheap plastic feeling and stuff like that. But yeah, so Luna's gonna be good as long as they keep the service of what it is right now.
Mad Cats, love
it. But Google Stadia, I would not be surprised if they shut the doors on that within the next year.
Yeah, well, there's already a countdown for it, so.
Yeah, I mean they're not making any money. People aren't buying stuff on that. Like I claim my free games like I do on the Epic Game Store, but I've never played a game on the Epic Game Store, and I've never played another game on Stadia.
Cubby, they just closed down their first party stuff, not the actual Stadia.
Yeah, they're not developing games anymore. And what's going to be another kicker for Amazon with Luna is they're developing that open world MMO game.
Yes.
It's on Steam, and I'm waiting for the next beta weekend for it, or beta trial, because I have it. It was gifted to me. New World or something like that.
Yes, New World.
It was.
I was thinking Ashes of Creation, but that's a different one.
It was gifted to me like the last day of the open time frame for the beta.
Of course.
And everybody I talked to said it's really well done for what it is. It's got some work, and I'm really excited. And if I could play that on my TV in my living room, even better.
That would be rad.
Even better.
So, sorry, I have a little cough.
Oh yeah, is that a cough?
I do have a cough. I actually damaged my windpipe the other day. Oddly enough, yesterday, I sprinted down a hill to get my kids' iPads because I forgot them at the house, and I ran back up the hill, and I was so out of breath and winded that it hurt my windpipe actually breathing because I'm that out of shape and that my body is that stupid. But funny. That's besides the point. That's a whole nother thing for another day.
It's funny that you're talking about that because if people are looking at us like I'm a big dude.
Yeah.
And you're the tiny one?
Tara's in shape. No, I'm not.
I bike like 10 miles a day now. And you're
I walk several kilometers every day in ESO.
Yeah, the Peloton, man, I'm telling you.
But then half the time I ride my horse, so I'm not getting any exercise that way either.
Peloton, it was well worth the $2,500.
Maybe someday. But all right. So moving on from tangent after tangent, we're gonna head on to community achievements.
Don't talk about my tangents, all right?
Can I talk about your cosigns?
Sure.
All right. So first up, we've got Kai. Kai says, I made it to level 33 IRL. Why do I feel like I'm dying, though? And the answer to that is because you're in your 30s.
Yeah, everything stops working, bud. I mean, everything.
Like, it's the Rona.
you just hurt for some reasons.
Yeah.
I got, like, the one day I went to my doctor's, like, my new doctor. I'm like, you know what? Sometimes I have some back pain. I wake up and my back hurts. And he's like, yeah, you're 36. I'm like, really?
Wait, I walked up the stairs and I sprained my ankle. Sweet.
Yeah, he's just like, don't do that anymore. Whatever made your back hurt, don't do it.
Don't move. Just whatever you do, stop moving and you won't get hurt.
Man, I tried that once. Bed sores hurt.
True. That is true. I'm not going to do that. Don't do that. Don't do that, people. Don't stop moving.
Yeah.
Keep moving. Keep moving forward. Always forward.
Maybe to the side a little bit.
Yeah.
Arc sign.
To the left, to the right.
All my stuff in the box to the left.
Take it from over here. Put it over there.
So Arc sign, he hit legend status on Puyo Puyo Tetris 2. And yes, Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine is Puyo Puyo 1. I never knew that.
I didn't know that either until Arcsign said that.
I never knew that. And I'm a big proprietor of Mean Bean Machine from the Sega. Mm-hmm. Like Sonic had some really good spin-offs on the Sega. Like Sonic Spinball and Mean Bean Machine, quality games.
Yeah.
So I might have to get Puyo Puyo. But then Arcsign's gonna be like, hey, let's play some Puyo Puyo. He's always trying to get me to play Smash. I play Smash at like 6 o'clock in the morning. That's it. That's it. I don't play Smash during the day. I've been playing Bravely Default too.
Yeah, there you go.
But I might have to get some Puyo Puyo.
Yeah, go for it. It seems like fun. And finally, we've got Crusher. And Crusher says, I finally neared the bosses of the High Entia Tomb in Xenoblade. Got stuck there in the Wii version, but this time in the definitive edition, he was able to do more side quests and be better prepared for the fight. And I'm happy to say he did it. He beat the boss. So good for you, Crusher. Well done.
That's
round of applause.
That's a good thing.
Yes. Being stuck at bosses sucks. I should know. I was stuck at a boss in Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne for a year and a half.
Yeah, you just beat him recently.
Yes, just recently, a couple weeks ago. So I got to get back to that game too. My schedule's full.
So, okay, so we got our topic of the week. Also, Cubby, Bravely Default 2. I don't think you were here at the beginning of the podcast. I'm like 45 hours in, and 40 of that is just from like Monday. It's a good game.
We said 40 hours on Monday. It was fantastic.
So we got our topic of the week. It's more like a game we're going to discuss. And to be honest with you, Travis, I haven't played this game probably in like 15 years.
That's okay. That's okay because you have the memory of the game, whereas I have the actual the experience of the game. So,
and that game is Dirge of Cerberus.
Dirge of Cerberus.
Yes. No, Final Fantasy VI.
Final Fantasy VI is the best Final Fantasy ever.
That's debatable.
That's my opinion.
That's
we
debatable.
know this. We know that. No, it's still my opinion, but it is all opinions. But yeah, we're gonna talk a little bit about Final Fantasy VI. We have both played this. I most recently have played this actually for our YouTube channel. I started to run in Brave New World, and that ended after about 15 episodes because I kept getting my butt kicked by everything. Because I was like, let's play this like the original Final Fantasy VI, and Brave New World was like,
nope.
No, you can't do that.
You gotta grind.
Doesn't work. It's a different game entirely. But that's okay. So we have some stuff here that we'll bring up some points and talk about them, and we'd love to hear what you guys think. Afterwards, you can join us on Discord and let us know, or you can email us, or you can hit us up on Twitter and just let us know, your thoughts on Final Fantasy VI. That would be awesome.
I mean, yeah, we could just hang out after the cast and talk on Twitch too.
Yeah, that too.
Also, Cubby, before we get into Final Fantasy VI. One of the big things with the 7 Remake on PS Plus, if you plan on getting the DLC in the upcoming months in June, you actually need to buy the game. The 7 Remake on PS Plus does not qualify for the PS5 upgrade or the DLC in the future.
Right.
Which is a good move on them.
It is. It makes sense.
It's a good business move for them.
Yeah, because they're kind of like whetting everybody's appetites with the release of that on PS Plus. And they'll get people to buy into it for the DLC.
Absolutely, and you heard it from last week. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure if you didn't hear it, because a lot of people didn't read that little blurb on the bottom of the graphic that they showed.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want that patch, the PS5 patch, to drop sooner than later, just so I could play through the whole game again on the PS5 before the DLC drops. But
that would be nice.
No more tangents. Final Fantasy VI. Travis, go.
Here we go. Final Fantasy VI. All right, first point we want to talk about is that there is an excellent and quite varied cast of characters.
Yeah, there's like 4.
Yeah. I
actually didn't hear what you whispered there.
Sweet. It actually worked. I said wrong game.
Oh, no, that's Bravely Default 2.
You're thinking of Final Fantasy 1.
No, Bravely Default 2, there's 4 characters too.
Okay. But that's not even a Final Fantasy game.
It pretty much is, to be honest.
I know. But yeah, there are a lot of characters. For some reason, the actual number I'm brain farting on. But it is it's nice because every character is an individual. They have their individual abilities. They've got their own story arcs. And they have their own strengths and weaknesses, which is great. That you can really build a party out of the kind of style of player that you want to be, which is really cool. Just don't use Umaro because you can't control him and he's not that great.
This is where I think they really hit their stride as far as Square goes with like character building.
Yeah, I agree.
The previous games they had a little bit of character development, but it wasn't as in depth as they started with 6, and then moving forward through the next 9 really. Besides 11, 11 doesn't really have character building, or 14 because they're MMOs. I mean, there is some good storylines as far as character goes, with like Shantoto and 11, but the single player aspect of Final Fantasy, everything but 11 and 14, they have really good character development moving from 6 on.
Yeah. 5 wasn't terrible.
No.
What I remember from it wasn't as good as 6.
5 is a good Final Fantasy game in general. It's just 6, like I said, 6 is where they hit that stride of like, all right, we know what we're doing.
Yeah. So, and I tend to run Sabin at all times because of suplexing trains and stuff.
That's the only reason to play Final Fantasy 6, guys, is to suplex a train.
Once you're done with the Phantom Train, you're done with the game.
Where you restart.
Yeah, that's end game right there. Is supplexing trains. Hey Noodle, what's going on?
What's up, Noodle?
And yeah, I love the character cast. I love the cast. Setzer's fun. Setzer's got a really cool attitude to him. Shadow is great. I don't know. There's something about every character that I really enjoy. And I think they nailed that. They really nailed it, especially with a cast that big.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, Czar?
What's up, Czar?
Yeah, they definitely hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
So, all right, you want to go to the next one?
We got the linear world of balance versus the open world of ruin. I'm a big fan of the world of ruin in this game. I think it's done very well. I love open world. I like to explore. And linear is all right too in some aspects, but every time I think of linear in Final Fantasy, it just brings me back to 13. Corridor Simulator 2008. But
yeah, I can understand that.
Once it opens up, that's when the game gets really good for me, to be honest.
Yeah. And even still, like, there's still some kind of more open parts to the world of balance, but it's not necessarily like an open story.
Yeah.
So to speak. Like, you can go. There's a certain point where you can kind of go anywhere you want to, especially like once you get the airship. But it's not like you can't do things out of sequence at that point. It's you're still following a linear story, but once you get to the world of ruin, it's nice because you can go collect the characters in almost any way that you want to, which is cool.
We're getting really rowdy tonight. I'm opening up my second bang.
Oh snap! I might go get I might have a second balls.
I got a second ball for you.
Oh, nice. Nice.
You.
All right, next up, which is probably the biggest highlight of Final Fantasy VI for me, is Kefka's pure insanity and psychopathy. The dude is just freaking insane.
He is.
He doesn't care about what anybody else thinks at all. He will do what he wants to achieve his own end. He is the definition of chaotic evil.
In all honesty,
he has no rules. He will just kill anybody for whatever reason.
So you kind of knew who is who. I am Adam. This over here. Wait. Here. Yeah, there we go.
Right here.
That's Travis.
I'm Travis.
Yeah,
I'm the one that's all Irished out today.
I'm the Viking looking one.
Yeah. But yeah, it just his attitude throughout the entire game, from when you first really meet him at the military camp outside of Doma, and watching that sequence of events where he poisons the entire city of Doma and just kills everybody but Cyan, is like the first time in a game I'm like, holy shit, what just happened? Because that was just absolutely insane. Like, it just came from left field. Like, you never think that a villain is going to just destroy innocent life so blatantly like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know we've had this discussion before several times about Kefka versus
Sephi.
My boy Sephiroth. And don't get me wrong, Kefka, as far as, he's a great villain.
Yeah.
And I'm going to die on this hill. And I know I said I was going to, I don't know if I mentioned in the podcast last week.
And you will die.
I will die. No, I'm not even talking. No, this is just straight up. Like, I'll give Kefka this one. He's a more terrifying villain.
Mm-hmm.
Square Enix has the opportunity to make Sephiroth an even worse villain than he was in the original.
Correct.
And I think they're doing a really good job of that. He shows up super early in the game. And I think I said this week when we were in a random call. I would die on this hill right now. Final Fantasy VII Remake is better than the original. Hands down. I'm dying on this.
Leave it to Adam to sidebar onto Final Fantasy VII when we're talking about Final Fantasy VI.
I had to get this out. The remake is better. There's better character development. There's better everything.
Well, yeah, I think that's half the point behind the remake is Final Fantasy VII was such a great game but things were hamstrung technologically.
Yeah.
They couldn't do as much as they probably wanted to because it was an early game for the PSX and they just couldn't do it. Like, look at the development between 7 and 9.
Yeah.
Like 9, I think the character development is fantastic in 9.
Oh,
Much
God,
better
yeah.
than 7.
Honestly, the character development in 8 is better than the original 7.
True.
I mean, everybody shits on 8. 8's a great game. It's a fun. It's better than a lot of the other Final Fantasies. It's better than the original 3, not 6. It's better than 4. I'd put it above 5, 12, and 13.
Fair enough. I'm okay with that.
But everybody shits on 8 because everybody has everybody's coming off that high of 7's this great game. It's the best game in the world.
Right.
So everybody shits on 8. But I really enjoyed 8. There's some mechanics in there that I don't like the summon system and everything. The junction system's kind of rough to get used to.
Yeah.
But 8's still a great game. But the 7 remake, I think if they can do it right, they can make Sephiroth one of the best villains ever made in a game.
Yeah. And Noodle says that Kefka raised the bar for Final Fantasy villains. Was only generic bad guys before him. Yeah, absolutely. Like Golbez
and Garland.
And yeah, just whatever.
No.
Whatever. But yeah, Kefka was like the first out of games I played. He was the first villain with a real personality, and that personality was a psychopath.
Now the best villain in any video game ever is really Hyrule Kakamemi from Snake's Revenge.
I was gonna go with Tom Cruise from Secret of the Stars.
No, Hyrule Kakamemi from Snake's Revenge. He was from the nation of Ishkabibble. It's the best Metal Gear game that nobody's ever played. It's on the Nintendo. Go play it.
I played it.
Well, of course you've played it.
Yeah,
nobody that knows anything about good games has played it.
There you go. All right, so let's move on.
So we have arena battles.
Yeah, the Coliseum.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I'm blanking on the Coliseum. This is all you, bud. I'm gonna drink my Bang energy.
Okay, you drink your Bang. So basically, you have the Coliseum, which opens up in the World of Ruin, and you pick a character, and they fight against. You pick a character, you pick an item, and you fight against an enemy that's chosen based on that, with an item that you can get that's based on the item that you put up. If you put up like any generic item, you'll fight against Chupon with an elixir as the win. And the only way that I've ever been able to beat him was to equip somebody with the Offering and Genji Glove and make sure they're fast enough to strike first and kill him in one shot. Otherwise, he's going to just sneeze and completely take you out of the battle. But this is actually
the Rona.
Yeah, he just gives you the Rona everywhere. Oh, what's up, Chris? This is actually where you get Shadow back in the World of Ruin. He's at the Coliseum, and you have to beat him, and then he rejoins your party. But that's the only way to get him back. But I just think it's a fun little aside to the main story of Desolation. Is kind of just a little bit of fun and a way to kind of get some cooler items. There are some items that you can only get at the Coliseum as well. So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So we have endgame content, 8 Dragons, and Doom games.
Yes,
there were
Doom
dragons.
Games run into what?
There were dragons.
8 dragons hidden around the world. Pretty powerful. You get each one drops a particular item. And it's kind of just fun hunting around the world for them. Of course, depending on how cheesy you want to be playing the game, they were just as easy to beat as any other mob you find with the what is it? Invisible Doom trick.
Yeah.
You basically cast. What's the name of the spell? I can't remember the name of the freaking spell.
A Burnination.
Sure. You cast Burnination on them to make them invisible.
Yeah, you burninate the countryside.
And the village and the thatch roof cottages.
Exactly.
But yeah, you can, and because there's a bug in the game that allows you to that gives Doom a 100% work rate on any vanish on any vanished enemy. Doom will work 100% of the time. So you can do that to the dragons, and they're easy peasy.
Yeah.
So.
So now we got the pixel art. The game still holds up as far as the pixel art goes.
Yeah, it really does.
Now, it looks even better when you download the Steam version of the game and you get that nice mobile port. Just like you should download Chrono Cross.
Chrono Trigger?
Yeah, I couldn't even finish that sentence, to be honest. I hope. All right, so Forever Entertainment. We were talking about this earlier. I hope they port all the games to PC that aren't the mobile ports.
Yeah. Apparently, though, they fixed Chrono Trigger.
Did they though?
That's what I've heard. I haven't played it, but I've heard that they've actually fixed. They put the correct graphics back in. They fixed the music.
I refuse to download it. To be honest,
I won't pay for it because I'd rather buy it for SNES or DS. I play it that way.
Crusher, no, it's the mobile port on Steam.
Yeah, it's the mobile port, dude. It's definitely the mobile port with the HD graphics.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Mm-mm. Now the DS is the best way to play the game, to be honest.
Yes.
Because there's added content.
I'm not gonna pull it up. I was gonna say here. I'm gonna show you real quick. Final Fantasy Anthology, but
the Final Fantasy Anthology is also really good to play because they have better cutscenes.
Yeah, the cutscenes are gorgeous in that one. They really are.
But the DS has added content, and apparently the DS version of the game is like super expensive now. Which I'm not surprised.
I didn't think it was super expensive. I know it's more expensive, but I didn't think it was super.
I'll let you look that up.
Yeah, I'm gonna look that up.
But yeah, so anything before Final Fantasy VII, anything Super Nintendo.
Oh Jesus, $100. Damn.
For just a cartridge or complete?
That's for complete. It's $94 for cartridge only is $74.
Yeah, so
that is expensive.
But anything pre-PlayStation Square Enix has put on Steam is a pile of shit.
Yeah, they haven't done well.
And I don't know why they didn't port the PSX games, like Anthology and Chronicles, was it?
Yeah, and Origins too.
And Origins, and for that matter, port the PSP versions of Final Fantasy 1 and 2.
There you go. Well, which is Origins, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have terrible everything in those ports.
Yeah, I don't know that I won't play them on PC.
I have them.
I own them all on PSX, so I'm not going to play them on PC. But whatever.
I have them on PSX and I have them on PC for some reason. I don't know why. Yeah. Because I'm a horrible human being. I tried playing Final Fantasy 3 and I played it for I think like a half hour. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
But
give us a different release of 3 that's actually an upgraded version of the real 3 that's a better upgrade than the original 3. That's not just because we got 1 and 2, 4, 5, 6 Chrono Trigger, but we never got 3 as a better release than the original.
No, we got mobile ports. And have you seen the price of mobile ports on phones?
No, what are they, $20-$30?
They're like $15.
Yeah, that's I'd be hard pressed to pay that much for the way that they did their ports.
Hold on. Talk about the next section here.
Sure. All right. Next up, we've got the fact that love is shown in so many different ways in this game. Is really different from so many other RPGs. I mean, a lot of RPGs have like kind of love stories or love shown in them in some ways. But like the fact that you've got in the World of Ruin, you've got Terra who's taking care of children because they lost their parents to the destruction of the world. You've got Cyan who's writing love letters back to a woman, basically saying that he's her lover that's stuck out at war. You've got Locke and what his backstory with was it Rebecca?
Yeah.
I can't remember her name. And you've got the love that Celeste shows for Sid when she's out catching him fish to help him get better or to kill him off. It's just there are so many different ways that that people show love in this game that is so unique in at least in what I've ever played. That is just, I don't know. It kind of just gets you. It gets you in the. It pulls on your heartstrings a little bit to see somebody to see people caring that much about other people, like PCs caring about NPCs, because you don't have in most games you don't your player characters couldn't care less about NPCs. They're just there to talk to.
Yeah.
But in Final Fantasy VI, your player characters show love for NPCs, which is a great interaction that never happens in most RPGs. So I love that. That's one of my favorite parts about that game.
Okay. So Final Fantasy games on iOS. So Final Fantasy 1 and 2 are $8 a piece. All right. Everything past that starts at $15. And they got some weird price. Oh, Chrono Trigger's $10. So Final Fantasy 7 is where is that at? Is $15.99.
Mm-hmm.
Final Fantasy 9 is $22.
Yep.
Where's Final Fantasy at? I thought I saw that on here. So the pricing's like kind of all over the place.
Yeah.
Dragon Quest though, Dragon Quest is only $3.
That's how it should be.
Final Fantasy 4 the After Years, $15.
It looks like they may have actually upgraded the mobile port of Chrono Trigger with the original sprite work. Like the UI still looks like crap, but the sprites actually look like the SNES sprites.
I'm on iOS, Mad. Also, I didn't know The World Ends With You was on iOS.
Ooh, I should check that on my phone. I would like to try it.
You can get that on the Switch.
Twooey.
I mean, honestly, besides like most of the games,
$18.
most of the games you can play on other consoles right now, like the Switch.
Yeah.
I'm not about to see how The World Ends With You plays on a phone.
Not trying it.
If somebody wants to send me $20, sure, I'll let you know how it goes.
Maybe that should be the first review. First review for YouTube is The World Ends With You mobile version.
Nope. Absolutely not. Anyway, back to Final Fantasy VI.
Yes, back to Final Fantasy VI. Number 8.
Shadow is Realm's dad.
Yeah. So this is actually something that was brought to my attention that I never actually noticed before.
Was
brought to my attention recently.
I had no idea.
In flashbacks, you actually see years ago that Interceptor lived with Realm, and Interceptor leaves to go leave with her dad. So that kind of just leads to the fact that because Interceptor was her dog, that Shadow is her dad.
Yeah.
Which is really freaking awesome. Because Shadow does also show some care later on in the World of Ruin for Realm, which is pretty rad. So it's I don't know. I like little things like that. I think that's really cool that they put that in there, and I'm just learned it now after playing it for the first time years ago.
I never picked up on that, to be honest. Like I said, I haven't played this in 15 years or so.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll hook up the old Super Nintendo and play it.
There you go.
But next on the list, it's the Brave New World Romhack, which we talked about earlier. Very, very, very hard version of the game. You see a lot of ROM hacks like this for most older RPGs anymore.
Yeah.
And now they have randomizers for most older RPGs, which I played a lot of the randomizers for Link to the Past. You know, one of the best RPGs ever made. And I can't do it anymore. Like I know Link to the Past like the back of my hand. I could 100% that game in under like 3 hours. But no, no more randomizers for this guy.
That's fine. Brave New World though is cool because they do change some very base functionality, base mechanics to make it a very different experience. So it is cool playing through the game again, but having a new experience to it. I'm going to finish it eventually, but now it's not that time.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then another thing, yeah, you've mentioned it is your favorite Final Fantasy game.
It is my favorite Final Fantasy. I've played 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 11 a little bit, and 14. And 6 still reigns supreme as my favorite, with 9 coming in a close second.
It's number 3 for me.
That's fine.
Well, number 1, if I've said it a million times, Final Fantasy 7 is my favorite Final Fantasy game because of just nostalgia, really. Tactics is number 2 for me.
Okay.
I mean, Tactics is just I hope Forever Entertainment redoes the Tactics games because there's 3 of them now.
I think so. War of the Lions was like the first one with added content.
Yeah, and then I think there's 2 other ones.
There's Tactics Advanced for sure. I don't know if there's a Tactics Advanced too.
I think there was a 3rd one though. I'm not 100% sure, but I hope they redo those and maybe add more like bring out a fresh new one. I mean, granted, yeah, we have Project Triangle Strategy coming, which I have a strong feeling that's going to be in the realm, like in the same universe as Octopath.
That'd be cool.
Just the same universe, not necessarily in the same area, the same world, the same time frame even. But I have a feeling they're going to start building up that whole, the whole everything, as far as that world goes. But Tactics was so good, and
Ogre Battle Tactics Advanced, by the way.
There was 2, so there was War of the Lions and 2 other ones. So there was 3.
War of the Lions was the PSP release of Final
okay.
Fantasy Tactics, and there was Tactics Advanced and Tactics Advanced 2, both different games.
So there was 3.
Yes.
Yeah. So hopefully that's something they do. And then we also have Ogre Battle is another good tactics game that I hope maybe something happens with that down the road. Probably not though. And then we talk about suplexing trains. I tried doing that once. Trains.
Yeah, I hurt my back.
That's probably why my back hurts.
Yeah, I would doubt it. I keep minimizing the camera window, and I don't know where to look.
That was too as well, Crusher. There was so many good games on the PSP.
I need to get a PSP so bad.
I think I still have mine. I don't know if I have a charger. And in all honesty, get a if you can get one. They're getting kind of pricey.
Yeah.
Get a PS TV instead.
Okay.
Noodle, have a good one.
All right, see you, Noodle.
But a PS TV, because you can download tons of PSP games right onto the PS TV, and and Vita games, of course, as well. They're just super expensive.
Yeah.
And I had a PSP. I had it hacked, but I only played games that I owned. And I loved it. But yeah, PS TV. I've been looking to get one. They shot up in price because there's still companies developing for the PSP or the PS Vita. Sony doesn't. Limited run game still comes out with shit for it.
That's cool.
And I honestly think if Sony were to come out with another handheld, they do pretty damn good with it right now.
I think so.
Because
I think they could.
There's no dedicated handheld right now. Yeah, you got the Switch.
Mm.
But there's like the 3DS is pretty much done. The 3DS line, that's done. I think if Sony was to come out with a new handheld, pump some money into it, good graphics, a good OLED screen.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at the original Vita, which I have an original Vita, that screen is better than any other handheld screen I've ever touched, including the Switch.
It's pretty gorgeous.
So if Sony were to come out with another handheld right now, I think they would have a good thing on their hands.
You should tell them.
I don't think they're going to listen to me. I mean, I can try.
Worth a shot.
And then what's next, Travis?
Right, so 12 and 13, or 12 and 14 kind of go together. 5 had, of course, the job system, which we saw reprised in many other Final Fantasy games. But They removed that in favor of more of a actual class system in Final Fantasy VI, where each character has their own playstyle, which kind of they have their unique abilities that um, just everybody can attack, everybody can use pretty much any magic in the game. But it's those unique abilities that kind of cater to your playstyle that let you build that party out of however you want it to be.
Yeah.
And the cool thing is, like, some of the characters, like Locke and Setzer, have special um, accessories that they can equip that will change their ability from something to something else.
Yeah.
So Locke can originally steal, but if you give him, I forget what the item is, but it changes steal to mug, which does a steal and a hit. Um, then you've got Setzer, who can use slots, uh, and then if you give him a special item, it turns into coin, where you actually throw your gold at the enemy to do boatloads of damage. So it's
Yeah.
pretty cool that you have the ability to kind of change stuff up there, which I think is a nice little feature. So you can kind of really, even customize your character a little bit further. So
Oh, absolutely.
yeah.
I'm a big fan of the job system, to be honest, because
Yeah.
I'm a grindy person, so I love to do that additional grinding. That's why I have 45 hours in Bravely Default 2.
Yeah.
And I'm only on chapter 4, and there's 2 more chapters to go. But next we have the Esper system, which was a precursor to the Materia system in the 7. And I know I'm going to sound like a broken record, but I think the Materia system was the best system in any Final Fantasy game to date.
I think so. I think they did it really well. But I think they definitely, if they did, I wonder where they would have ended up if they didn't have the Esper system the way they had it in 6.
Absolutely. And if you take a look at the storyline between 6 and 7, there's so many like obvious, like, hey, this kind of is the same thing, just with a different twist on it. They've pulled so much from 6, and I just think the all-around package they did better. But it also has to do with the fact that, technology advanced a little bit. I mean, if you take a look at the size of 7 compared to 6 and what you can do, what was it? 23 cartridges that would have been on the Nintendo 64?
Yeah.
So, like I said, I know I'm going to sound like a broken record when it comes to Final Fantasy 7, but one of the things it does have to do with technology, but there is so many like obvious details in both games that just kind of like fit together.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Esper system, they did a good thing there, and it helped out in the junction system in Final Fantasy VIII is once you get used to it, it's a really good system, but it's not the Esper system or the Materia system.
And one more thing that I did want to mention, that's actually the end of our list, but one more thing I wanted to mention is the setting of 6 is it peaks for me. It really is the perfect setting. They really nailed down, like, some of the Final Fantasies are very medieval with an airship, and that's kind of as far as they go. But like Final Fantasy VI really brought some of that steampunk aesthetic into the game. Namely, the city of Vector was very industrial, especially the Magitech factory. You've got the Magitech armor.
I was gonna say the first couple of minutes you're walking through with Magitech armor.
Yeah, you've got I don't know, like you're fighting robots in a medieval setting. Is obviously definitely more steampunk than any other entry into the series has been. And of course, once again with 7, you have it as well with the city of Midgar compared to a place like the town of Calm.
Yeah,
one is very, very rustic, and
the other's more
medieval,
industrialized
and very industrial. So very cyberpunk almost. So, but I think they definitely nailed that 100% with Final Fantasy VI. It's just a beautiful game, start to finish for me. Everything.
You know what? I'm probably gonna revisit that game very, very soon because I haven't played it in so long. I think we've talked about this previously, where I got a new HDMI switch for my setup here, so I have 2 additional HDMI ports to run through my capture card. So I might just hook up the old Super Nintendo with a converter and hop into some good old Final Fantasy VI.
Yeah, go for it, man.
So we have God tier, garbage tier. Now we're Dirge of Cerberus. People shit on that game, but it's actually not a bad game.
It's really not.
It's not a bad game.
I used to crap on that game all the time before I played it because everybody said it was so bad. And then I finally played it for Extra Life last year, and it was like it was eye-opening. It was a solid third-person action game
It
with
is.
some really cool customization to it. And
Yeah,
it was dark. It was super dark. But
it's a better
like
shooter than Cyberpunk 2077. Let's put it that way.
it's yeah, like and as is the case with some other games and some other movies, if it didn't have the title of Final Fantasy VII, it would have gotten a better reception.
Same thing with Final Fantasy 13. If that wasn't a
Yeah.
Final Fantasy game, that would have been. We'd probably still be getting more games in that universe.
Yeah.
Because the universe of Final Fantasy 13 is pretty damn good.
Mm-hmm.
The execution of a Final Fantasy game was not there. There's no towns. There's no stores. It's Corridor Simulator 2008.
Yeah.
But the game as a whole isn't bad.
But seriously, give yourselves a chance to play Dirge of Cerberus. It's a cheap game. If you can get a copy of it and you have a PS2, just give it a shot. I don't think you will be disappointed if you like this style of game. Like it's very kind of like a Devil May Cry, Ninja Gaiden kind of style shooter. Yeah. Kind of action game where it's third person. It's pretty quick and it's just fun.
Yeah, I think you could beat that game relatively fast. I don't know the whole time frame of it. I haven't checked how long to beat, but I don't.
Yeah, I haven't either.
So we're up to our question of the week. It's about indie RPGs. Top three. Would you what are your top three, and which would you force the boys to play if you could? I'm guessing we're the boys.
We're the boys, and nobody answered that second part. So
I'm a man.
Whatever.
Travis.
Okay. No, it specifically says on the question when I asked it on Twitter that we haven't become men yet. So
Okay.
I don't know what you're talking about.
All right. Crusher said Dirge of Cerberus is 12 to 15 hours.
Okay. Yeah, that's not bad. I can finish that tonight.
Yeah, sure. So we have Effie Chris from the First Encounter podcast. He says Shadows of Adam from Something Classic, which I've heard nothing but good things about that game.
Yeah.
Fear and Hunger by Happy Paintings is a really cool horror dungeon crawler, and Arafel game. I don't know what that is.
Arafel. It's just called Arafel.
Okay.
But that's Arafel game is their Twitter handle.
Yeah, these first 6 are from Twitter specifically.
Yeah. Next up, we've got Craig's turn, aka at Sinister Design. He says Together in Battle. Granted, he's developing it, but Adam challenged him to a beard off and pretty much won before it started. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Is that Romaze?
Romaze Kamahara, I believe.
Omen Sight and Indivisible. Both are really good games. I've played Omen Sight and Indivisible. And then Lost Dimension as well. I've heard of Lost Dimension. I haven't played it. But Omen Sight, fun. Indivisible, also fun. Play those.
At Pedestrian says, does Grim Dawn count? That's about as close as I've seen as a real Diablo 2 experience in the last few years. And yes, it was developed by Crate Entertainment, and they are, in fact, an indie studio. So yes, Grim Dawn is an indie game, even though it's a Warhammer franchise.
Grim Dawn is really good, actually.
That's what I've heard. I haven't gotten a chance to play it yet, but I've heard it's amazing.
It's really good. I think it's out on the Switch as well.
Cool.
But I played it through Steam, of course. And we have at Jay's Games, Battle Chasers, Night War, and Shadow of Adam are pretty cool. Battle Chasers you can get dirt cheap like everywhere. I bought my physical copy on the Switch for $5 at GameStop.
Oh, nice.
But it's a solid game. It really is.
And then we got at Farbs McFarbs.
Great name.
And he says Eichenfell. And I looked it up after that reply, and Eichenfell looks pretty freaking sick.
I was looking at that too. Yeah.
Check one out.
So now we have from our Discord here. We have our guy Crusher, Dungeons of Dreadmore. I played a little bit of that. Disco Elysium. I've heard nothing but good things about that. That won like several Game of the Year awards as well.
Yeah.
And of course, Divinity: Original Sin 2. I played a little bit of 1. I never played 2 because 1 was kind of slow, but I hear 2 really has good good pace and good stride right out of the start. So I'm probably gonna pick up those.
Right. In favor of saving time, I'm not going to read this entire thing. Kai basically left us an essay on his on their 3 games. So we'll say Caves of Cut, which is a roguelike. Tales of Maj Ayal, which is another roguelike, and Nino Kuni, which is sort of indie, sort of not.
See, I'm
Sort of.
level 5 is really good. I don't know if I would. Nino Kuni is a wonderful game. As a matter of fact, I think right now it's still on sale on the Switch for $12.
That's worth it.
I don't know if I'd qualify that as a indie game, but it's worth being on this list.
Mm-hmm.
And Crusher says,
"Oh man,
Tales is just endless content."
I think this is. Boop. Sorry,
you did it again, Travis.
I did it again. I always do it.
Pointless Code, Magna Carta 2 on the 360 was great. I played it. It was really good. Indivisible, another person for Indivisible. And then Pokemon Reborn Rejuvenation, which is a ROM hack. Some of the Pokemon ROM hacks are really, really good, and some of them are fucking weird.
It says these are not ROM hacks, but they're built up the ground up with RPG Maker.
Really?
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah. I just saw ROM hack. I'm just paraphrasing. But some of the Pokemon ROM hacks are fucking weird. All right.
We've got Effie Chris, the reprise. He hit us up on Twitter and on Discord. He's got Secrets of Grindia and Swords of Ditto, are similar top-down hack and slash RPGs, both of which had a lot of fun with.
All right. Our boy Chaos or Origin of Chaos, Phil. Hellgate London counts as that is indie. But that apparently EA fucked it up.
Yes, EA really messed that game up. They pushed it out way, way too early. The game could have been absolutely fantastic, and EA basically made it die.
Speaking of things getting pushed out too early, what was it? Dracula Bloodlines or what vampire? What was it? There's a vampire game that just got pushed back.
Oh yeah, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2.
Yeah, Bloodlines 2. That got pushed back, which I'm all right with because as long as the game's good when it comes out. But yeah.
Yeah, and they switched studios, which is really interesting. They fired Brian Mitsoda, who was the writer for the original Bloodlines, which has me concerned.
As long as the game's good.
Yeah, I'm hoping.
Because we haven't had a good vampire game in a long time.
That's been a while.
Then
we got...
I was going to say... No, you can go ahead. No, it's your turn.
Skeleton House says Hylix, which is a bizarre, surreal 4-hour game that doesn't make any sense, but oozes style. Bug Fables, The Everlasting Sapling. And Clam Man 2, which is a Disco Elysium-like, which is not out yet.
I mean, is there a Clam Man 1? Because I'm all about that title.
I don't know, but there is Breath of Death 7, and no other Breath of Death.
I know. Also, Bug Fables, I have that on the Switch. It's Paper Mario.
That's cool.
It's Thousand Year Door Paper Mario. Ooh, I burped a little bit there. Ooh, nice. And we got my boy Arathon 32, also for Divinity 2, Pillars of Eternity, and Darkest Dungeon.
Good calls.
Darkest Dungeon is phenomenally hard, and I love it. But is that it for this week's cast, Travis?
Yeah, that's it for this week's cast, Adam.
Travis, where can they find us on the internet?
You can find us at Discord at www.therpgkingdom.com. You can find us. That's a podcast. Sorry, that's the podcast. You can find us on Discord at discord.therpgkingdom.com, and you can find us right here on Twitch at twitch.therpgkingdom.com.
Yes.
And you can email us at therpgkingdom@gmail.com.
Also, Black Eagle Ops, Mad Czar, thank you for those follows.
Oh, sweet. Nick. Hey, Nick. Nick is Black Eagle Ops.
Oh, okay.
He's on the podcast that I used to be on.
Oh, the Retro Rants?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
But, yeah, that's going to be it for this episode. Travis, where can they find you specifically on the internet?
You find me specifically at Terror Squirrel, TerrorOrx SKWIRL at on Twitch, on Twitter, on TikTok, on Gasher, on Dancer, on Prancer, on Vixen.
Nice.
Thanks.
For me, you can find me on Twitter at XScoreGames, as well as on Instagram and TikTok. I'm going to be streaming primarily on this channel though, so you should follow here if you're new to the Twitch channel here.
Yep.
But I think that's going to be it for this episode.
That's it.
Bye everybody.
Balls. Bye.